surgery land, and I've had a bunch of people reach out asking kind of how it went, so I just thought I'd share while I was in a cognitive state between medicine. First and foremost, I'm doing pretty good. Surgery went well as far as endometriosis goes. The whole point of the surgery was to remove a large cyst and any endometrioma tissue that was present, as well as explore where else that tissue could be. So that part of the surgery went well. The cyst had grown larger than my uterus, which is insanely large, and no wonder it was causing me such debilitating chronic pain. Hopefully that will be relieved now. A few patches of endometrioma on my pelvis was removed, but there was one patch that was too it was inoperable. It was on my bladder in a spot that the doctor didn't feel comfortable getting. So as far as endometriosis goes, it was pretty good. I'm really grateful to have that cyst out, because if it had ruptured, then we would have had a slew of other issues. But I'm having a harder go with Addison's. It's just not that big of a surprise. I'm doing pretty good today. I'm sitting up today, knitting today. Of course, I have my basket of goodies of crystals and medicines and massage tools, and my emergency injection kit on hand. We were really proactive about making sure that the team in the hospital and everyone knew about Addison's disease and crisis situation. I had doctor orders. I had National Adrenal Diseases Foundation documentation and paperwork regarding the protocol of a crisis, surgery protocol, as well as it's finally washed off now, but I had written in Sharpie across my arm, adrenal insufficiency, all the stuff that's typically on my medical alert bracelet that I could not wear, I wrote on my arms. And we were pretty aggressive about it with the team. We only had one nurse that was kind of pushing back, but my husband and I really were firm about the importance of it all and making sure that I get the appropriate amount in my IV. There was a little bit of discrepancy from the doctor's note. It wasn't really clear that I needed 100 milligrams in IV during surgery. It was written out 75 during surgery, 25 after. And this is where we think the problems began. So they ended up following that. I had my medical paperwork taped to me everywhere. So surgery happened. It was like an hour and a half. I'm clearly in brain fog land and medicine land, so this isn't very articulate. But this is the most cognitive I've really been, so now's the time to share. But as soon as I came out of surgery and I was in recovery, I immediately went into a crisis. I couldn't open my eyes. I was in full-blown tremors, body convulsions, and I just knew I was in crisis. So I couldn't see anything, but I just started, mumbling that I need steroids, I need more steroids. And a nurse nearby was like, honey, we just gave you some, give it a minute to set in. And I was like, no, I need more right now. So she called my doctor and got the approval and, gave me another vial, and the tremors continued, and so I said I need another one, and this process went on for 3 rounds overall until finally the tremors and the convulsions were stable and I was no longer shaking uncontrollably or cramping or there's surgery pain and then there's crisis pain, and if you've been in a crisis or close to a crisis, what that is. So I was just really grateful that the nurses listened and had so many vials on hand to give to me. And eventually was released once I was no longer. It was about an hour and a half, I think I was finally released, which seems pretty early, but I really wanted to be released to my husband because he had medicine on hand and we wouldn't need to wait for a phone call to get the approval to stress dose or emergency inject. So I kind of pushed that I was ready to go. And the nurse agreed. She's like, yeah, let's get you to where you can manage your own medicine. So since then, I was released. I'm home. There's been ups and downs. I've been stress dosing, really trying to keep Addison's at bay. Had some tremors again a couple nights. So definitely not past the full crisis situation by any means. But learned how important it is to be very, very clear with the doctor's notes that I need 100 milligrams, if not more, during surgery and not 75 prior, 25 after. So that was a learning curve for me and what my body needs and what I need to make sure the verbiage is totally clear. And I share that because I want other individuals with Addison's or adrenal insufficiency to make sure that they get the appropriate verbiage on that note stating 100 milligrams of IV steroid intravenously during the surgery. Maybe more after, maybe more before, but how important that 100 is. So that was important. But now I'm just recovering, going really slow. Yeah, it's a balance of trying to recover from endometriosis, laparoscopic surgery, and trying to keep Addison's pacified. Need to get up and move my body so that things are working, but also not spend spoons. So here I am finding the balance today, sitting and knitting. But that's where I am. I'm happy to answer any other questions. Thank you for those that have reached out, your kindness, your thoughts, very appreciated. I hope everyone is healthy and well and taking care of themselves. Even any surgery is major, but adding Addison's on top of it is just a whole nother ball game. So happy to answer any questions for any of my spoony friends who are going through it, because this was my first Addison surgery. And I learned a lot. Overall, I feel really good about how it transpired and how I was taken care of. And I feel really confident in that same hospital if I have to go back for anything else, which is really good to know. But thank you all for being here. Light and love, all the spoons. And I hope everyone is healthy and well. And I hope you have a wonderful day.